We've been hanging out with Robert Kiyosaki probably 4 times a week since we got back to Scottsdale. And something that he said, I can't get out of my head. And it's, I am lazy and incompetent. That's why I'm so rich. And I think that is potentially the most brilliant statement I've ever heard in my entire life. I am lazy and incompetent. That's why I'm so rich. Everyone around me is so smart. They have their PhDs, all their fancy diplomas, they're educated, they're self-employed, but I'm rich. And that's why, because I identify those people and I incentivize them, which allows me to make unbelievable amounts of money. And he does. He has unbelievable fucking amounts of money. When we were with him the last time, he was like, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to buy another Porsche. And so then he bought a Porsche. He said, I have a big multi-car garage. A spot opened up. I need to fill this thing. And so what I'm trying to figure out is, how do you become lazy and incompetent and make a lot of money? Because I would love to be lazy. I'm most certainly incompetent. It really comes down to the body is a system of systems. Business is a system of systems. Sorry, Robert keeps on saying that too, and that's stuck in my head now. He keeps on saying, "Josh, you don't know systems." He keeps on saying, "The body is a system of systems. A business is a system of systems." And I shouldn't be laughing, but PJ gave you a smirk. Yeah. And she does keep on saying this stuff, which is why it's funny right now. But it's one.
No, what was funny too is when he said it at the school. He was saying it to like an investment club at this like private high school, but then he like didn't touch on it any further. The body is the system of system. Then he starts talking about that or something.
Yeah.
It didn't match up in any way.
But anyway, it's 100% true. So I am willing to work exceptionally hard, 16 hours a day for a few years, to where I can build a system that is then able to operate on its own. But most people who are self-employed, and Robert would say, I have everything that he has just nailed down right now because we're spending so much time with him. And that's actually what happens when you're spending a lot of time with someone, which is why having a mentor is actually so ridiculously incredible. When I'm hanging out with Ken, who he has 10,000 apartments, I mean, that is some serious wealth. With Robert, with this guy, George, you just start to adapt a lot of the ways that they think. And so if they think incredibly large, incredible, amazing thoughts, you will too. If they're doing drugs and only trying to do brain dead activities, you will as well. I mean, it is very true. You are the average of the people you spend time with, because you are forced to get better or you will no longer hang out with those sorts of people. But anyway, most people who are self-employed and or have very small businesses, that I'm basically self-employed. Even if you have a few people, that doesn't matter. It's not a real business. I like to think it is. It is basically being self-employed because you are forced to work or your business will go away. The results will go away. The income will stop. And that is 100% true. If I stopped working tomorrow, I would have zero money coming in. And therefore, you do not have a business. That's really what it comes down to. If you have a business, if you leave for a month, you come back and you make more money than you did the month prior. That's what happens to Ken. He was gone for the whole summer. When he came back, he was way richer than when he left, because he built a business which has this system that has momentum, that is continuing to generate output regardless if he is there or not. And that takes an exceptional company culture. That's actually the number one thing that I've learned that I didn't understand, and I'm still not fully understanding it, but I'm trying to nail it down. So company culture is just, how do people in your company behave? And do you have a company culture that is innovative, fast, effective, trying to continuously innovate for the next new thing? Or do you have like a safe, conservative company culture where people are just trying to get like a 9% return or something? And those two things are wildly different. And you have to know what kind of business you have. because the people that you attract will be differently. And that's not good or bad. You have to know the kinds of people that you are bringing on. And different departments of the culture or different departments of the company can have different subcultures with the departments that they're going on. And I've seen this with Ken. And if you have not experienced it, then you have absolutely, you just won't understand what I'm saying, because good company culture pushes out the bad. When you are surrounded by these A plus players, exactly what I was saying before when I'm with Robert or Ken, if you are not good enough, you will fall behind and you will no longer be with them. It is a fact, because they have such a low barrier of incompetence that they don't want to be surrounded by incompetent people, even if they are. And so great company culture pushes out the people who don't want to work hard, the B and C players. Because the B and C players, they can't hide and masquerade themselves with a great company culture. Therefore, you just end up building this machine that has so much momentum of people who are just kicking ass. And I mean, no company's doing this perfectly, I don't think. Ken has a great business, the best I've ever seen, but by no means does he have only super plus players. That's all I want to do, is find these super A plus players. And I just, only great things happen when you're surrounded with those types of people. But how do you systematize what you're doing, and how do you onboard and generate all these things to where when someone does come on, they can actually perform at the quality that you need? I mean, there's just so much shit that is needed. It's very difficult. All these videos of people saying that business is easy and just to make 100 grand a month, that is fucking bullshit. And it actually, it makes me mad, because it is so wildly difficult. Every single day when I think that I'm making strides, even if I'm getting better at what I'm doing, that doesn't matter. The business could still be going to shit because I don't have my legalities covered, because I don't do all this random garbage bullshit that you have to do in a business. And you have two options. You can hire other people to do that, or you can do it yourself. But if you don't have any money, and when you are starting off, you're not going to be able to spend 50 grand a month on payroll, guess what? You're probably going to have to do that stuff yourself at the beginning. And so you have to learn every single macro detail of a business, so that you actually know who to hire as well. Because how do you know if someone's an A plus player or a C if you don't know the role? You just can't, because so many people can talk the talk, and they can tell you that they can do exactly what you're looking for, and you simply don't know if they're telling the truth or not until they start, because you don't have experience in their role, so you don't know the intelligent questions to ask them. It's very difficult.